Thanks for clicking on Just Beats Fitness. I'm your trainer, Jasper Bravo. Today we are training our back. As always, if you want to have that illusion of a small waist, you need to be training your back. Your back will give you that aesthetic looking body, and it will help you so much with with that aesthetic and that balance and masculine look when you have some awesome back. And of course, you look better in your clothes because your clothes are going to fit much better. And always your back, when you have a bigger back, it will always make all other muscles around it look bigger. And as always, we start our first workout, which is also going to be our warm-up. And you're starting with the first set of pull-ups with 20 reps. Now, I want you also to know something, that today we are not warming up because whatever it is we are doing right now is just body weight. So we can use this first set as a warm-up set at the same time, because this is such kind of a workout that doesn't really strain our joints so much, so we are not at a risk of getting hurt. So yeah, that is the first set of pull-ups. We're going to do 3 of those sets, 20 reps each. It's one of the best ways you can start your back workout normally, because when you do your pull-ups, when you're just beginning, there's always that awesome pump that gets into the back that is so good for the rest of the workout. So that's why I usually like to do this, starting my program with some pull-ups just on a higher reps without, sometimes I go with lower reps when I decide to add some weight. But of course, that one can never beat this type of a workout where you go for the high reps and you push yourself all the way to failure. I want you to notice that also in these sets, I'm doing some Mayo sets because there's sometimes I'm getting to a place where I just can't continue anymore. So I wait for a few minutes, then I continue until I hit the 20 reps mark. That is the main reason why we seeing us stopping occasionally, just to make sure that every set we get to 20 reps. That shows you that we've gotten to true failure, when you just can't continue anymore, and that you have to rest for a few minutes before you can continue. Yeah, now this is the third set of the same workout. As I told you, we're going to do 3 sets of these before we proceed to the next workout. We're going to do 8 total of sets, by the way, of workouts. I think 8 will be enough. That is 2 workout for pulls for the lats, then 2 workouts for the thickness of the back. That makes them 4 workouts. Is it 4 workouts? Yes, it's going to be 4 workouts, not 8 workouts. And each and every one of them, you're going to do 3 sets each. So that will be a total of 6 plus 6, 12 sets. That is enough for us a workout routine. That is enough for strength, and is also enough number of sets when you are working towards building that aesthetic body and building muscles, of course. So we are still on our third set. Of course, the third set is usually the most difficult when you're doing this workout, because right now the fatigue is already starting to kick in, and we just have to push through it anyways, so that, of course, we finish whatever we had set our mind on. Because one of the things also we train when we're training our backs or any part of the body is that we are also training our minds and our brains, so that we have that mental toughness throughout, outside and inside the gym. After that, we're going to the next workout. This is a workout that is responsible for the thickness of the back, and this is bar row. And as you can see, we are starting with quite a moderate weight, that is 25, that is 50-70 kilograms for the first set. And we are aiming for at least 10 reps for this first set. And always make sure that when you're doing this or any other workout, you keep up the form, however heavy the weight is. Make sure that the form is the most important thing throughout the movement, because this is going to help you in so many ways other than any other way that doing the wrong sets would. For instance, it's going to save you from so much possible injuries. So just to avoid that, you go for the lighter, well controlled weight rather than going for heavier weights that is going to make you do the wrong form that could get you hurt. And when you're hurt, you just can't work out. And these gains are just worth it when you are in the gym continuing doing it. Anything that hurts you is hurting your gains, because if you get injury, either you'll not be able to work out totally, or you'll not be able to work out as much as you're supposed to. and that is not something that is good. That's not something you want. So considering that, I want you also to know that this is a very important back workout for strength and also for that thickness of the back. So just make sure that you control the weight. Now for the second set of the same workout, we're going to add some weight just to, of course, to improve on the strength of the workout and also to help us with that progressive overload, because you want to get stronger as you continue with the sets. You just want every set to be better than the previous set. That's how you grow, that's how you get stronger, and that's how you get better. Now I want also to talk to you guys about injury and the importance of protecting yourself from getting injured. And I think this is one thing that is very important when it comes to our fitness journey that most of the time people tend to ignore a lot. People are talking so much about the diet, people talk so much about the techniques and the number of sets you need to do, the type of workouts that will give you the best gains, the rest, the nutrients, the supplementations, and so on and so forth. But people avoid so much, or I don't know whether it's deliberate or something, but I think people avoid so much talking about the injuries, and yet this is one of the ways that stops us from getting closer to our gain more than any other thing. I don't think there's anything that will stop you from getting to where you want to, more than, of course, other things that, besides things that are within your power, like, you know, your laziness, your ability to be consistent and all that. But injuries is just the number one, or amongst the top tier stuff that I will say that cause or derail or stop people from getting to their goals of fitness. Of course, there's stuff like health issues and all that, but those are not all that up to our control. But when it comes to injuries, to some extent, we have some degree of control to the extent or the possibility of us getting hurt. That is, we have the ability to at least reduce the chances of us getting a hurt when you're working out. And that is, for instance, by doing the workouts that are less risky, or when you're doing the risky, or those workouts that when you do them you have a high chances of getting hurt. You do them with less weight, not as much weight, not as closer to failure. When you're doing them, you become keener with your form, which I think is the most important part of it all. Make sure that your form when you're doing the workout is well executed. And of course, you need to warm up before you do your workouts, because that is one of the ways that people get hurt so much. When you get to the gym, you just attack the workouts or you attack the exercises because you think you're a superman or you're good. And of course, you could be good, you could be able to do that for some times, but you should be asking yourself, for how long will you be able to do that? You really don't know, because there's going to be one of those days that you're going to run out of your luck. So to avoid that, or to reduce the chances of such happening, I'll just advise that you have the precautions and you consider them anytime you're working out, so that you don't hurt yourself. Because the moment you hurt yourself, you're not going to be coming to the gym, or you won't be training. And the moment you don't train, you'll start losing your gains, and you won't be making any gains in the process. And that will make you make some steps backwards, and will make you lose so much gains that you've worked so much hard for. So if you care about your fitness and you care about your growth and strength and making progress, you also need to care about taking care and being careful not to hurt yourself when you are in the gym. Those are some of the things that I didn't. Of course, there are many other factors like having enough rest, because when the muscles are more rested, they tend to have less chances of getting hurt. Of course, having somebody like a spotter when you're going for a weight that you're not really comfortable with, like so on. There's so many factors, and I think what I can advise is as many as possible should be the number of factors that you can control. And when they're there, do your best to control them, so that you don't get yourself in a position where you're getting injured or you're getting injury that will obviously work against your progress. So this is another workout, by the way, a very important workout for lats. This type of aero workout is so fucking important. It helps with the widening of the lats. It makes your back look wider throughout the movement. So it's one of the workouts that if you haven't ever done, or you don't usually do it, I would really advise that you consider incorporating it into your program, because It is a good workout for your back and some parts of your triceps and rear delts, but mainly a very, very awesome and great workout for your back. Of course, the lats for widening parts, so that to make you have that V-tape shape and make you have that V, that the shape that somebody sees when they're walking, when you're walking in front of them and they can view you from behind. If you want that's piece of meat that swells on your armpits, just below your armpits, you really need to incorporate that. So I don't know how you guys see our progress as far as this bulk season is concerned. Of course, we're doing a little bit of creatine here and there, so that to help us with the recovery and of course to help us with muscle growth, all those things, the importance of having creatine. It's been a few days doing this, almost 21 days now. Now we're on 30, like it's just above a month since we began this, and the progress has been impressive. I can't complain really, because as you all know, creatine is one of the most researched supplements, and it is proven to be very healthy and good for you, even for your mental functions in and outside the gym, and many other factors that of course you can go and Google and find out about. But I can just advise that, of course, before you try any of these things and you have any health issues, you need to consult your doctor, because I'm not your doctor and I'm not a qualified physician. I'm just giving general advice. Let me see you in the next one. If you like the video, and you could subscribe if you want to.